Hello and welcome to the grand finals. We are here finally. It's been a wait, but it's been worth it, especially for those walk-in songs, of course. Brilliant choices from both teams, and both teams are, of course, Alliance taking on iCCup Grand Finals. Best of 5, Alliance 1 game winners bracket advantage, and we'll see if iCCup can at least make it to an even score on this first game of ours. And I will be joined by K-poptosis inside the game. He'll be doing the stats for today, and of course, I also have a co-caster for this match. It is Vykromond. Vykromond, welcome back. And what did you think of those walking songs?
Pretty good stuff.
I know.
Pretty good stuff. I definitely appreciated some of the choices. I hope that Twitch is able to successfully determine which song was being played.
Yeah, if the chat was actually working right now, which apparently it's still
if
not.
the chat was working, which I guess it's not. But
Yeah.
No surprise in the bands, I gotta say. Who wins? Nobody wins, but we were all in the ballpark. We
Yeah,
talked
I got
about how
two, right?
iCCup. Yep. I think everybody got 2 or 3.
Okay.
So, no. All credit due to you. You definitely identified some of the heroes. So Alliance, we know that they hate tree. They're going to keep banning this tree until they know for a fact that it's no longer relevant. And frankly, I think it still is to some extent, and that's why you sort of see that ban.
Yeah.
Then, of course, the IO, no big surprise. Interesting that Alliance chose to ban it
Yeah.
when we sort of talked in the pregame that iCCup doesn't really love playing it either. But if you want to avoid gimmicks, you want to avoid IO, because IO is a deeply gimmicky hero. While iCCup just goes all in on the Bulldog bans. Lone Druid, Nature's Prophet, and this does mean that Mag won't get either of these two heroes, but more importantly, it means Bulldog will.
Yeah, I think maybe slight estimation error for Alliance banning out the Wisp, because I think they would have gotten him if they banned out something else, because iCCup would favor the Bat Rider, I believe. But yeah, still, of course, you don't want to face a Wisp if you don't really, like, if you have a specific type of play in mind. You know, Wisp force you into a kind of play that you might not want to see. They do pick up 2 signature heroes, though. It is Lifestealer for Loda and the Chen for Aki. And as I say that, I do know that Bulldog sometimes plays the Lifestealer as well. So we might see that one, actually. I think we even saw that in this tournament. Am I right?
Yeah, we could see the Bulldog Lifestealer. I don't remember seeing it in this tournament, but maybe I'm just starting to have a short memory these days. I think it's good for either Loda or Bulldog. Obviously, actually one of Loda's most successful heroes. It's a hero that, despite 2 rounds of nerfs, remains effective at almost every stage of the game. With the appropriate setup, he can be a laning monster with open wounds and just the ability to plow through anything with rage. Later on, he delivers a very good amount of scaling damage. The feast scales with your opponent's health. And of course, he has quite good stats as well, and Rage never stops being good. So I like these picks for Alliance. They're good, solid picks, nothing especially gimmicky, but I actually like the picks from iCCup a lot as well. They get the Jackal Weaver that we were talking about, his favorite hero to play these days. And Resolution plays a very good Bat Rider as well. He really helped his team lift up over VP in Game 2 yesterday.
Yeah, one thing that I actually am expecting from Alliance right now, as we have seen them do it before, is maybe still get Loda to play Lifestealer and pick up a Bounty Hunter. Because, of course, not only does Emerald Bulldog play a very good Bounty Hunter, getting track up on almost all of the kills of Alliance, as we saw earlier in the season, or earlier in the finals even, but also it is nice against the Weaver, especially when you're like, okay, you can time-lapse out of it and all that stuff. I mean, if you're going for a gank, it might not be the most successful way to deal with the Weaver. But in terms of a team fight, Weaver doesn't want to already time-lapse just to get the track off, and it just makes him a lot less, you know, evasive in those big team fights, and we might see Alliance indeed go for that as they pick up S4's Dragon Knight. We had the Puck getting banned out, OD as well, so two strong mids already out of the pool. Still had Queen of Pain, but I am not expecting that we're gonna see that anymore. Bat Rider already indeed, as you mentioned, Resolution's hero of choice. Naga Siren in the end, and Bane banned out by Alliance, so also 2 pretty understandable heroes banned out by them.
Yep, they're almost taking their approach to drafting it. They're treating iCCup like they treat Quantic. These are basically the bans that you would expect them to go against, like Quantic or something. So I like this. I think these are smart bans for Alliance. I also like the Dragon Knight pick a lot. I think Alliance are one of the teams that utilizes it the best. Dragon Knight is a pick that gets criticized in some quarters. He's not the most amazing laner because he does rely on, you know, just Bottle Crow. He has that laid-back passive, get my last hits with Dragon Breath and melee style and just survive the lane. And he's not the most ganky of heroes, but the fact is that Dragon Knight is an excellent hero to have in a multi-core position. And what Alliance did here with their draft is they know that Bulldog is unlikely to carry from his position, right? Because they don't have Lone Druid, they don't have Nature's Prophet. If he goes something like Bounty Hunter, Clockwork, Darkseer, these are all great heroes, but Alliance loves to play exactly 2 cores, and they can't get that with Bulldog. So what they're going to do, well, unless they actually go the Lifestealer. So Lifestealer is still a possibility, but the Dragon Knight always gives them that fallback, because S4 always finds his farm, he always gets very strong on this hero, and it's a hero with a great toolkit, as well as late game carry capability.
Yeah, we have a Darkseer picked up by iCCup in the meantime. We talked about this during the pre-show. Like, Mag has got like 3 core heroes, and we saw it already on the overlays as well. I mean, Lone Druid, Nature's Prophet, which are of course the question, do you want to ban them out so that Mag doesn't get any either? Or do you want to risk having Alliance pick up one of the 2? You know, it's all risky, but they chose to ban them both out. That leaves one in the pool that Mag often plays, and very successfully as well. As we, for example, saw virtus.pro not wanting to play against him yesterday. But they managed to pick it up. They did take quite a long time to think about it, but ending up picking him up, and iCCup, I think they're pretty happy with their 3 lanes that they have so far. Are you expecting a jungle hero still to be picked up by iCCup, because it's not something that they normally do or that they often do, apart from Enigma perhaps, and with the Darkseer they might actually just go for that. But of course Alliance, they've got that Chen there. So do they want to counter jungle? Ooh.
So the option would be Enchantress at this point,
or Enigma.
But
not anymore, I guess.
I don't know about Enigma. I feel like Enigma's a little too greedy with the jungle relative to Enchantress, and if Darkseer gets pushed out of his lane, for instance, which is very possible against Chen Windrunner, the thing about Chen Windrunner is that they have responsive lockdown, like they can get you after Surge with either a Shackle or a Dark Troll Warlord, Dark Troll Summoner and Snare. So if Mag gets pushed out and has to jungle, and he has to share the jungle with somebody, I feel like he'd be happier sharing the jungle with an Ench. But I don't know. They could go Enigma. I suspect they don't. It would be very, very, very greedy. Like, it would be tremendously greedy, in fact. Since they have Clockwork, they're probably not going to run a Roxgus-style Yol support Clockwork. And then that means Mag's already in the jungle on Darkseer, Resolution, Batrider, Weaver, and you need a support. Like, if you go Enigma, Darkseer or Clockwork in a dual lane support capacity is going to be weird. If they go dual lane and Weaver's in a solo lane, it's also pretty uncomfortable. I don't know, I wouldn't like that very much, honestly. I think they just need a hard support.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Then there's the Jakiro ban out. Alliance.
Smart.
Yeah, also expecting some extra support on iCCup. And of course, iCCup has picked up Jakiro, but don't believe this tournament so far, but yeah, he works out well together with the Clockwork, works well together with the Darkseer a lot.
Darkseer.
Like yeah, that's gonna be scary stuff, but of course now banned out. And Batrider as well, of course, Ice Path from the last 2.
Yeah, let me speak to the Jakiro ban a little bit too. The Dragon Knight Chen is a very scary early to mid game push composition. They can start pushing your tier 3 a lot earlier than you might expect, at around the 18 to 24 minute mark. The thing is, pushing at the 18 to 24 minute mark against Darkseer Jakiro is actually more or less impossible. Because you will... Dragon Knight has to be right there, and he's going to get vacuumed into an Ice Path Macropyre, and he will die until he's massively tanky later on in the game from farm. So the Jakiro ban ensures that if Alliance do get off to a pretty good start, they can actually capitalize and push. And I really, really like that ban choice. It's super smart.
Yeah, and there's still the Bounty Hunter that we talked about already. In the end, not going for an extra core, as in, you know, next to the Lifestealer. Although you can consider Bounty Hunter maybe a bit of a semi-core as well. But yeah, going for the Bounty Hunter for Atmo Bulldog. So we'll have those Lifestealer bombs coming out of him.
It's only very, very late games that Bounty Hunters ever like farm up damage items.
Exactly.
It's almost always Vlad's. Vlad's is going to be huge this game for
So
Lifestealer and Dragon Knight. And yeah, Cuirass, BKB, possibly. Actually, it's not the most important thing this game, depending on what the support that comes out from iCCup is, but yeah, those sort of support items to help Dragon Knight and Lifestealer do their work. I actually think he goes Vlad's, DK or Lifestealer makes the Cuirass, because they're too expensive. Bulldog won't have the money.
Yeah, we'll see how many kills they can get. Of course, that's going to be the aim, getting those track kills off for Alliance, and the more he has, the better items he can build. Makes sense. We're going to see iCCup. They're thinking about their last pickup. We have got only 10 seconds left inside their bonus time, or, well, now 10 seconds, I guess. And it is a Lion. I I'm not convinced. I think we've seen them play before. At least we've seen Lion before already, and he can be very scary. I think we've seen Arsat on Lion twice this season, actually, or this LAN finals.
Sure.
And
Lion's a strong hero, but this is an incredibly level greedy lineup. This lineup has greed written all over it. I worry that Alliance can just punish it around when Bounty Hunter hits level 6, and Dragon Knight is in that 8 to 9 range, and Lifestealer is 7-ish. I don't know. How do iCCup stop just a death ball from going around the map and killing them all and pushing?
Yeah, it's gonna be very tough. iCCup need to have their laning stages not destroyed for them. Of course, that's normally the case as well, but they don't really have that much mid game if they don't get the levels early game. Like, their early game is okay, but not necessarily strong. We're gonna see how they run things, though. On the side of the Radiant, it is iCCup Mag playing the Darkseer. No real surprise there. He will probably go into the off lane. Depending on if iCCup want to be really going aggressive with this, I don't think they would, but you never know with iCCup, to be fair. We've got Resolution on his signature hero, Betrider. No surprise there. Jackal on the Weaver again. No surprises. I think iCCup is really happy with their draft. Maybe they would have liked the Jakiro in the end, but they went for the Lion rather than, for example, for the Shrek, which we already talked about during the pregame as well. Would have been amazing. Would have still been in a pool. And, I mean, yeah, iCCup. Their true support, the one that they went for, was We Just Zig on the Lion, of course. And we've got ourselves a Clockwork by Always Wanna Fly. So he'll play that, and he is gonna be a support Clockwork. Of course, it's very strong against a Lifestealer, even though the cogs don't really block him anymore. You still can block him.
The thing is, they're gonna spot this ward. This was too obvious. Yeah, that's unfortunate. The nice thing about this ward, there was two things. You block the hard camp for Chen, which is the easiest camp to go ganking from. And the idea was, I think you might, doesn't have vision to the courier? No, not really. But if you did want to snipe the courier, which is great against Dragon Knight, who's extremely courier dependent, you would know whether or not Chen and Windrunner were coming to gank you while you were sniping. Yeah. So it was a neat idea, but Alliance spotted it so easily that it won't do too much.
True. You want to introduce Alliance?
Should I introduce?
Yes.
Yeah, I'll go ahead. So on the dire side, Alliance, obviously the favorites. They want to be the second Swedish team to win today at the StarLadder Finals in the Ukraine. Admiral Bulldog in the offlane on Bounty Hunter. I guess probably his third most famous hero after Lundrud and Nature's Prophet. S4 in the middle on the Dragon Knight, which he's been playing a lot lately. He'll be handling that semi-carry role in this game. Ake on his Chen, using that little Warthog mount. Cosmetic, I like that a lot. Yeah. And then EGM on his Windrunner support role, finally leaving Loda on the Lifestealer as the carry in the top lane.
Yeah, and this is an interesting situation because, like we talked about during the pre-show, should iCCup try to go for a gimmicky lineup or should they try to stick to their guns? I think they stuck to their guns, but Alliance definitely in a good position, I think, as well. I think they, S4 getting quite a bit of harassment here. He'll have stick, though. We'll be able to deal with Resolution's harassment, but I'm thinking both teams are pretty happy with their lineup. Are pretty happy with the way things are looking to go with the lanes that they have. As Bulldog gets harassed tons here on the bottom lane by Jackal, by the way. Jackal getting harassed now more by creeps, and actually since he doesn't have boots, he's a little bit slower than the creeps, so can't really use the self to stay alive that long either. And yeah, there we go. He doesn't want to have his health popped off.
I mean, I think iCCup picked their lineup with clear eyes. Like, they knew that they took Clockwork 4th. It wasn't like they were pressured into taking it 5th. They knew they were going a greedy lineup with a jungle Darkseer and an offlane Clockwork. And if it doesn't work out, they don't have literally just the random aspects of drafting to blame. They have their choices to blame. So I think they're happy with it. But I think Alliance also very happy. I want to talk about Ake Chen a bit, because I really think that the roaming of this Chen could make a tremendous impact on this game. He does have a 78% record with it. Yeah, very, very good. You do have to adjust that a little bit. Keep in mind, Alliance has a damn near 75% record, period.
Oh, we just
they're not a team that loses very often.
Like, if we have got this hit, that might be the first blood. Jackal hanging around here. Bulldog trying to block the way, and that should be a kill. One more hit to go. Bulldog gets Hex, though. Is it going to be enough? No, it is not. It is first blood to Admiral Bulldogs off lane, taking a lot of harassment still from Jackal, but Jackal can't continue to chase. And this is going to be already the start going the way of Alliance. And we might have the next. Yeah. We've got the Centaur there as well, so another disable if the Dragon Tail hits, if S4 gets it off, and he does. Here comes the Centaur looking for another stun, misses it! Nice dodge from Resolution, who lays down some harassment also on S4 in return. Gets... Oh, actually...
Oh,
Oh,
he's
another
got the
Dragon
Ion
Tail
Shell.
overextension from Resolution here. Here comes Mag, trying to help out. Resolution flying himself away and sent
Big
home by
setbacks.
Aki. S4 will be safe. Resolution a little less safe in terms of HP points, but nobody actually dies in the mid lane.
Yeah, big setbacks by Ake there is very smart, and they are in the first blood as well. This is the problem with Lion, really, Sheever, and this is the problem with this laning setup in general. You said to be happy with it, and I think they were coming out of the draft phase, but I'm not sure they're going to stay happy with it, because the fact is that Alliance can just straight up bully them early. I mean, Ake Chen, I talked about it a little bit, but he's going to keep roaming. He can keep roaming into the middle, and every single time he does that, it's an opportunity to kill Resolution. And Resolution will have to scramble, or they may have to rotate Mag. And we just sick. I mean, you just saw him fold like a house of cards to Bounty Hunter, because what the hell is a level 2 Lion? It's not nothing against we just sick. What is level 2 Lion supposed to do? He's got an extremely short range, a short duration stun in the Earth Spike, a short duration stun in the Hex. He can only usually cast one because they're pretty expensive on mana. And he does no damage. He has poor stats. His base strength is one of the worst in the game. This really is a hero that, as Dignitas's player Aoi 2000 said, in the first few levels he's a ranged creep.
Yeah.
Later on he's very, very strong, but early on he's just a creep.
Yeah, and Bulldog is going to look for that creep again, I think. I mean, a bit of harassment with the Janata and now level 2 Sheever Contest as well is just so deadly, kinda. Or maybe he's just going to go for a creep first. Yeah, creeps are nice. Why not, right?
Because again, Lion can't even contest those last hits because Bulldog does 62 damage before you factor in Janata. We just think does 51.
Yeah.
So it's actually hard for him to deny those hits from the Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, in the meantime, of course, offlane versus offlane. Always want to fly sitting at level 3, while Bounty Hunter sitting at level 4 and has that first blood. And we now already have the first Hand of Midas up. It is Loda that picked it up. I don't think that Jackal is going to go for Hand of Midas. He normally doesn't go for one. He just goes for Lincolns and then Desolator. The question is, like, when is iCCup going to be in the position in the game where they can actually start fighting back? Because as you mentioned, they're just not in the position to fight back right now because they don't have that lineup. What's Lion supposed to do at level 2? He can't gank.
Right.
Nobody can gank, kinda. Nobody can contest Aki in the jungle either, or can try to go there to try and make his life more troublesome. We do have a bit of a rotation from Mag, who went into the top lane now as well. Maybe they can do something there.
Stuns on Bulldog.
Ooh.
They might get a kill here on Bounty Hunter.
Yeah, in comes oh, the sentry. There we go, but it's not going to be enough unless Jackal has got some more up his sleeve. Oh, he's going to dive! You don't have a tree this game, Jackal. Thank you. I think he was a bit confused with the lineup there. We've seen him dive like that before, but oh, another back around stab, this time on the side of Alliance. Aki coming in with some creeps. I think that iCCup has noticed it though, and always want to fly, and Mag backing off again. And that's, by the way, a level 6 lifestealer. So, yeah.
This is the last time I'll... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was about to say that Admiral Bulldog was walking into a troublesome situation, but he backed off again. So never mind that.
This is probably the last time I'm going to criticize the Lion for a while, but that's the thing, no damage. He has the stun, and they end up using both sentries, and Bulldog walks away because there's no damage. The Darkseer isn't there, he's helping the mid because he has to help the mid because of the ever-present threat of Ake, and they lost their initial ward. That initial ward's a big deal. It's half your starting wards now that they changed it in 6.78. Now they just want to annoy Ake, so this is where the Clockwork Darkseer is good, working together, annoying Chen. They do get all his mana, but this isn't a kill, it's just a delay on Chen. And, I do want to say Jackal's farming pretty well. He's going to go for that fast Lincoln Sphere, it looks like. He does have Ring of
wait a second. Aki got lassoed. Is there going to be enough damage to bring him down? There is, and that's the resolution, picking up a kill. Nobody coming in here to help out Aki.
Yeah. So that's a nice kill on Ake, and that's, like I said, the Clockwork Darkseer. This is where they excel. You put Ion Shell on the Clockwork, and then you Surge him, and he can get a cog on anybody, anytime, and do a lot of damage to them. And the Weaver, the idea here is this guy is pretty good at dueling Lifestealer. Weaver is very favored in just the 1v1 Lifestealer matchup. Issue is they're basically running just the Weaver as their farmer. So, okay, if Jackal and Loda get equal farm, and right now they have equal last hits, but Loda has the Midas, so they'll seize ahead in GPM over time. Jackal can kill Loda. I fervently think he can win that matchup. Loda's one of the best lifestealers in the world, but as you just saw in K-pop stats, Jackal's one of the best Weavers. But how do they solve Darkseer? Sorry, how do they solve Dragon Knight? That I'm less clear about.
Yeah, it's basically what we have seen during the entire tournament. 2 cores versus 1 core, and normally it is the 2 cores that ends up winning. And it's just simple math, to be fair. I mean, You know, if you might want the 1 versus 1. Hey, wait a second. Bulldog might be going for Ouija again because in comes S4. Doesn't have a rune but does have Dragon Form. Is it going to be enough though? There wasn't a track. I don't think they know that S4 is around here. Actually, there is Ward, so he would have walked past it. Yeah, they know. They should know. There is, however, a long-range Dragon Tail. Is it going to be enough time to take down Jackal before he can time-lapse? Probably not.
It could be. Weaver's not tanky, and he does have the Ring of Akala. He has, it's giving him extra armor, so he has 8 armor total. That'll help quite a bit against that Bounty Hunter Dragon Knight. I think in the end, the Akala combined with how KG iCCup were playing, how close to the tower, was what made S4 decide not to commit to that. I can't really blame him. It was kind of a toss-up as to whether that was going to be a kill.
Yeah, but look at mid lane though. I mean, we know that Resolution already has a kill, but he is sitting on 50 last hits. Wait a second, Bulldog is dusted up. He gets a bug on him as well. Can they hex him? Can they stun him? There's one stun. Here comes the hex as well. And that is gonna be a kill going away if iCCup. Lion to pick it up. Nicely executed. No escape for Bulldog. And yeah, that's the kind of kills that they need.
You were talking about Resolution's farm. I mean, 54-19 for Batrider. This is an incredibly good creep score for this point in the game.
He's got a blink.
And the wages of that are that he has Blink Dagger at 9 minutes 25. That's an amazing timing.
Yeah, and of course, for comparison, S4 is sitting on 36 for 7. He did have a bit of an excursion towards the bottom lane twice now without really getting anything done. So you have to take that into account as well. Wait a second, always want to fly. Sure. Shackle, doesn't ledge, power shot still there. Track is up as well. Load out with the open wounds. Nice! Hook shot! Sheever Contest not going to be enough just yet. Hand of God comes through. Resolution trying to make something happen here on the top lane. Doesn't have a lasso anymore. Used it to help his teammate get away. EGM, Flame Break, EGM, Iron Shell, and it's Darkseer that picks up the kill. Lowdown Bulldog on the run. It is going to be the end of it though, or it should be. Or will it be? Resolution. Did he go in too far? Open wounds there once again. Loadout. It's not enough. The Iron Shell, the Flame Break. They get him too. Bulldog. Last one alive here on the Lions for the top lane. Nobody extra coming in to help out. And Mag, he had it spot on with that Iron Shell. Vacuum ends up missing, so not getting the kill. In comes EGM. Does he have a shackle up his sleeve? No, he does not. Or at least he doesn't want to try. Doesn't want to risk. And that is going to be 2-0 here on the top lane. Alliance might have gotten the first blood, but then 4 kills in total going the way of iCCup since then.
Now, Alliance does take a tower, so AKS4 doing some diligent working on the arrest. But yeah, like I said yesterday, if you get a really fast Blink Dagger on Bat, you can almost always do work with that. And of course, Resolution, what a player. Oh man, what a good response. There was a Smoke Dragon Knight and a Smoke Chen coming in. They might still get halvesies by picking on Ouija Sick, but that's a way less valuable kill than Batrider. Resolution, what a player. That was so good. Even staying in longer than you'd expect, but just knowing that Ion Shell would tick down at least Windrunner.
Yeah, that was... that top lane fight. I mean, he came in at exactly the right time. At first I thought, you know what? He saved Clockwork. Clockwork, of course, brilliant too, coming up from Always Want to Fly as well. And that would be the end of it. But no, that wasn't the end of it. And he ended up getting 2 kills, including Loda. Most important target. I mean, we know that he has a Hand of Midas, so in theory, should be getting ahead of farm on Jackal. And the one thing that you can, of course, put him down back again is by killing him off. And that was a brilliant pickup. They couldn't get Bulldog, but still... nice performance coming off from iCCup here. And that is exactly what was said during the pre-show, right? They might not have the best rotation for their supports early game, but their counter initiation is spot on. They reply to the aggression and they just, you know, give it back tenfold.
They do. And that was the sick hook for Always Want to Fly too. I totally agree. That it was the defensive hook. But not just any defensive hook. It was a defensive hook that stunned 2 on the way, which is more than you usually expect from him.
Oh, smoke up, Resolution, blink forward, gets Aki. Here comes a Dragon Knight though, as Ouija Sick that's already in a lot of trouble. Ouija Sick will end up going down, doesn't get a stun up anymore. Hand of God, not going to be enough to save Aki. Aki goes down, S4, might try to get another one, but realizes he might be slightly in trouble. Here comes the rest of Alliance though. Resolution will get bursted down and will be a casualty of war on the side of iCCup. Always Want to Fly trying to TP himself out, gets tracked and stunned and killed. No hope for him, and that is going to be Alliance taking it back all of a sudden. It is 5-4, and those were some track kills for Alliance.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about... You were just talking about how iCCup is good at responding to situations, but Alliance are the kings of that. They're so good at rotating over, responding to an unforeseen circumstance, and frankly, I wouldn't even characterize that one as particularly unforeseen. It was a good smoke gank, But you already, even as they jumped on Ake, right here, S4 was already in here, and he landed a big Dragon Breath on 3 heroes that instantly brought the entire iCCup ganking squad pretty low. It was a good idea, but heading that deep when you're not sure of where, for instance, the Dragon Knight is it's pretty chancy, and unfortunately, they paid for it pretty dearly. I mean, 3 for 1, I think.
Yeah, exactly. And not just that, I mean, of course the top lane is fairly close by, so they just came in and then all of a sudden you've got track kills going there because the fight just lasted that long, and that's just giving away way too much there, as they do get a tower on the bottom lane. Jackal doesn't get last hit for it, but still gets himself some extra gold. He is sitting on top of last hits and also on top of net worth, which is quite important to note considering he is not the one that has that Midas. So, pretty good effort from him. Of course, Loda's still sitting very high, but the top 4 goes the way of iCCup. Like 3-4-1.
That's definitely true. I think Resolution, even with that death, is having a fantastic game. They just need to, if they're going to gank like that again, I think they need a little bit better vision to do it. Or whether that's more wards, or whether that's just, you know, for instance, like right now, you know where Bulldog is, right? You know where S4 is. Yep. So if you want to get Gake right now, you can. But now they're not in position to do it. And Alliance, check out this pretty cool ward here. This is quite aggressive, but also spots out a lot of potential avenues. Like, this is an extremely unusual ward spot. The reason they've placed it here is because, yeah, they just saw this smoke, and they just pinged it.
Pings go
That's
off.
Exactly why.
Brilliant. I mean, you might not even see the players all that much, but you see the effects, and, you know, if you know that something like that is happening, it's just, it gives you such an edge. Because now they can either hide, which is of course good, but they can also set up for a counter initiation, and we see them already moving towards top. They have got 3 people around there. We have the 4th coming in. S4 is there as well, and expecting Bulldog to TP and should things get hairy and should there be track kills needed. But that's already a smoke that, like iCCup, they feel pretty secure where they are right now. But they're gonna walk right into a trap if they're not careful. There goes the Firefly, gets Loda, sees Loda. There's not gonna be a last 2 though, and that's gonna be a haste rune activated. Hookshot in. Cogs doesn't get anything. Tracks go on. Bulldog coming in as well. Here comes the Dragon Form from S4. Looks for Resolution. Resolution already dead. Hand of God helping out. That's a finger of death picking up Aki, but we just zig. Super squishy. And a track kill and again going the way of Alliance. That's going to be Jackal coming in for the fight. Picks up Bulldog. He's the only one alive for his team though. The rest already got picked up. What can Jackal do now? Can he get S4? It looks like he might. The Dragon Tail's still there. There's still a time lapse though. He might think about chasing. Knowing Jackal, he would chase. There we go. Can he get it? I shackle to our creep. And Jackal will end up dropping another Dragon Tail. And that's overextension and a team wipe. 2 kills going the way of iCCup, but 5 kills going the way of Alliance. And I believe 4 of those were track kills.
At least 3 were, yeah. And Loda honestly was already farming extremely well. Like, he's got 56, yeah, he's got about, what's that, 10-15% higher GPM than you'd expect, which is already very good. He just dragged a ton of kills onto that as well. I think he got the full armlet out of that fight. You can't lose a fight that badly this early. And iCCup, they realized as they initiated what happened. Did you see that? The moment of hesitation that you usually don't see from Resolution as he tries to go in on Loda?
Yeah, he didn't even
all of a sudden, iCCup don't know whether they want to fight or not. And the same thing repeats itself with Always Want to Fly. He hooks, he hits Bulldog with the hook, and then walks away. But in that moment, Resolution is like, okay, yeah, we're fighting, I guess. So he reinitiates, dies, and just the whole thing falls apart from there. And that's indecision. If you're going to commit, I mean, that fight went as badly as if they had fully committed and failed. I honestly think that if they had fully committed, they could have gotten at least S4 out of it. And it's just indecision, nerves, and, I mean, just the tough situation of being on a LAN against a widely favored team.
Yeah, very true. And, I mean, yeah, the lasso wasn't even used that fight, so iCCup, time to sharpen up their aim a little bit, but also, of course, that ward from Alliance just perfectly placed.
Yeah, the ward.
We can contribute it to iCCup, of course, not playing as well, but Alliance just played it really, really well. And just baiting it out and just letting them walk right into a trap. And losing a Chen and a Bounty Hunter for that cause was okay for that. They got all the track stuff that they wanted to, I think. As we're going to see some creeps getting picked up there. EGM sitting at 1k gold and mana boots for support, doing actually fairly okay. he is still higher net worth than the other two supports on or than the two supports up on iCCup. Of course, he's not going to have as much farm as Aki, because Aki's in the jungle, but he is keeping up. And that's impressive on itself. Yep. S4 and Jackal find each other. S4 going on the invis, has a Shadow Blade. Bulldog hanging around there as well. Jackal knows he has to get out of there.
Yeah, I thought Bulldog would actually go in and try to track Jackal after the end of the Shukachi, but they decided not to go for it. Of course, they don't have vision, so this is again Alliance being smart. You know, you don't know what's going on. You don't want iCCup to do exactly to you what you just did to them. That would just be a little bit embarrassing. So, the smart decision overall by S4 and Bulldog, even though we, with the benefit of hindsight, know that there was no danger. Which is sick. I just feel like they're having trouble integrating the Lion. I didn't think the clock pick was all that bad. It was greedy, but like, if you know you're being greedy, it's fine. The Lion pick, though, was agreed too far, and he's struggling. I mean, he has less than 1,000 net worth. He's sitting on brown boots. Lion is a pretty level-dependent hero. I'm not going to say he's the most item-dependent, because he's not, but it would be nice to get him items. That Ags is great on him these days.
Yeah, we might have an initiation here. We have got Bulldog hanging around with an infested Lifestealer inside of him. And he's always want to fly already, and always want to fly. They are thinking about initiating up on S4. Oh, they get him. The last two is there, and down to the Hound Ground. S4 in trouble. S4, Hand of God might keep him up for a little while longer, but will end up going down in the meantime. Always want to fly. Got picked up by that bounty on the Lifestealer combination. And now they might think about coming in from the side. Here they go. Resolution flying away. Trek goes off. TP out from Weejazik. No hope for him as he gets picked off before he can TP out. 2 for 1. Good trade, I think, though. Unless they lose more Jack. Oh, no, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, that was a good fight by both teams. I think iCCup did as well as you could expect there, but the surprise factor of the Bounty Hunter with the Lifestealer inside, they really thought they had the clockwork to play with that time, and they really, really didn't. He was locked out of the fight immediately. Other than that, it's nice to get a kill on S4. This isn't the worst thing in the world. But again, you're losing to track gold at this point. You're really, really suffering from the fact that Loda is just going to charge ahead.
Yeah, first, with the killing of S4, we now no longer have anybody on the game that hasn't died yet. Because it was S4 the only one that was at 0 deaths up until then. And I have to say, it's fairly evenly spread on both sides, apart from the Lion, but I don't think that's a very big surprise. As Roshan is being attempted here by Alliance. Let's see if they can make it happen, because in comes iCCup. They want to try the hookshot, hits up on Loda. Here comes a Cogs as well, but I don't think Always Want to Fly wants to sit in there. Always Want to Fly already gets picked up. It's the first one. Brilliant vacuum. Impale up on 2. Bulldog in a lot of trouble getting hexed up. It is going to be Jackal that gets to time-lap himself out into safety. Bulldog dusted up with the haste rune. Will he survive? Jackal is going to get slowed by the open wounds, and Bulldog actually lives, surprisingly so. Shadow Blade on S4. Is there anybody left to take down? No, there is not, unless Jackal comes back. Jackal comes back. I don't... Oh, the sentry ward goes down. Jackal! That's not good. He picks up a kill, but at what cost? I mean, that's not worth it for sure. That is not worth it. But at what
cost, indeed. At the cost of a Weaver for a Chen, basically, and he didn't even get Bulldog out of the bargain. He has his Lincoln's done, but obviously it's not going to save you in a situation like that. Alliance secured the Roshan. iCCup, I think, understood that losing the Rosh for nothing would put them severely back, so they wanted to take fight. There was a good Vacuum Earth Spike combo. I mean, that's sort of the Kid brothers not as talented of the Ice Path combo. It's nice to vac into a big stun like that, but, you know, Ice Path is just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So they had, that was good, but it wasn't enough. Jackal isn't dealing enough damage, and they really don't have another source of damage. I liked the idea, but in the end, Jackal got too greedy off of it. And the other cool thing Ake has been doing this game, I just asked K-pop to look up the stat. Ake actually, because of Alliance's deliberative style, doesn't cast as many Hands of God as a lot of Chens do, but in every fight up to that Rosh, Ake always had his Hand of God, and it always made a huge difference. So Alliance is the sort of team that will always wait to make sure they have that before they try to proc an engagement.
Yeah, and we see that Alliance is also building fairly smart. We have got Loda with his... Well, it's a typical build for him. He picks up Sanjay. He's going to go for Sanjay Yasha, I believe. The Sanjay at least is in the courier right now, actually, or the Yasha is as well. And that's his Sanjay Yasha complete. Of course, you're up against a Weaver with Chikushi, fastest hero that you can have to deal with, so he goes for face boots, drums, and Sanjay Yasha. That means that even if Jackal gets himself away with the Chikushi, Loda has the potential of chasing him down in hopes that the open wounds, for example, are still going on when he gets out of his Shikushi. As Chen goes down again to Clockwork this time. Clockwork with the flare picked him up. Jackal gonna get tracked up. And he is gonna get chased down. Here they come. Bulldog, EGM, and S4. Trouble, Dragon Tail, long range. It has a time lapse, but he can't. Oh, he can get it off.
He's fine.
And the Lincoln's there as well. And that's gonna be Jekyll fine. Wow, that was actually in the end even more than worth it because he used a lot of time from Alliance. Like no big stuns, ultis were used or something, but well, the Dragon Tail, the Dragon form, I guess. He got Aki, and he made sure that everybody of Alliance was in that mid lane for a second, not farming.
Yeah, and Dragon Form's a big deal. I wouldn't discount it because when Alliance don't have the Dragon Form and it's going to tick down, they can't really push effectively. So neat by Jackal. The really cool thing about Weaver against Bounty Hunter, and it would be a horrible life if this weren't true, but no matter what, time lapse will remove track. You don't have to use it in the first 4 seconds of track. So that's what keeps Jackal alive there, because then he can Shikachi out.
Yeah, very true. So we have got Mag building towards the Assault Grass, I would think. Or do you reckon it's still going to be Sheeva's? Not Assault Grass. Sheeva's is actually pretty decent against Dragonite as well, but I think Assault Grass right now is probably the more beneficial, especially since Weaver is building towards that Desolator. You want to still have, you want to be having and the minus armor and your own extra armor, of course. Desolator is far from done up on Jackal though. His farm has been quite stagnated since the last couple of team fights that they lost. Hasn't been able to find all that much freedom to farm anymore, and we now see Loda very far on top of that net worth list.
Yeah. I hope this is a Dezo. It's tough to fight against Dragonite because actually bringing somebody down from really high armor to still really high armor is not tremendously efficient. The way armor works, it's actually better to bring somebody down from relatively low armor to 0 or negative. But it is good against Lifestealer, so if he's building Dezo, I applaud him. If he's building BKB, I would say look to the lessons of your forebears, because Lincoln's BKB, you really struggle to deal damage, as we learned.
Yeah. Oh, they initiate here. Resolution forced off into safety. Here comes the Cogs helping out as well as 4. Not visible, there's no detection up on iCCup, or at least not in form of wards. They do have a gem, I believe, up on the Bad Rider, so there's going to be somewhat safety for iCCup.
And Bat Rider is insanely farmed this game. Like, Resolution has been farming up the Storm. He's got friggin' BKB almost done. But Loda's doing a really cool build as well. He's doing the race car build for Lifestealer, which since the patch, it's been picked up twice as often. So it was already really, really strong. But the lower open wounds range, even on max level, means you want to be faster and faster. Also, Weaver has gotten more popular since the patch, and Race Car Lifestealer is, in my opinion, the ideal build to fight the Weaver, because check out his speed when he's phased. He's actually pretty damn close to max movement speed. So the fact that the open wounds won't slow the Weaver and Shikachi starts to matter less when you move as fast as he does, especially after Basher.
Yeah, we have got Bulldog infested again, so let's see if they can find someone. If we look at the minimap though, I mean, Alliance has totally cleared out iCCup's jungle. Might be looking to take down the tier 2 there as well. They won't find anybody of iCCup though, because they're all sitting on the top half of the map, or at least for them on the top side of their part of the top side of the or the mid lane rather. And we have got Jacko actually split pushing in the mid lane. If he can manage to take down the tier 2, it's pretty decent.
It is Dezo. This actually lets Weaver solo push towers. This is something Jackal likes doing, actually. He likes this Dezo.
Yeah, always want to fly.
Because he can actually...
He gets a Dragon Tail and the Shackle and a Cogs, and is he gonna be... Oh, no, he's dead. Sure can toss there. That's just... Why was he there? Like, that's just bad positioning, sorry.
Yeah. Not necessary. It's not the end of the world for the Clockwork to die here. He is basically in a 4 role. He would love 4 staff, and he's pretty close to it, but it's okay. Jackal's in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, he's a bit greedy, but he's gonna do it. He time-lapsed, and he is running for his life.
He's still in
ready.
trouble.
Oh, he's gonna be tracked. The Shackle doesn't latch, but it doesn't matter. He's dead. But he bought his item before he died, so unless they lose something like really big right now, it's gonna be okay. But they might actually lose their tier 2.
Tier 2. They know that Weaver bought out, I suspect. They have an inkling of it. They're trying to at least force it. Once they see that he doesn't come back to the tier 2, in my opinion, well, they're going to lose the Aegis, but still, I think it's okay for them to at least take the tier 2. For what?
No, well...
The tier 2 tower in exchange for Weaver? Not in any way worth it, in my opinion.
No, tier 2 tower in exchange for Weaver and a tier 2 tower. Or
yeah.
no,
then definitely not. The only question is, was it worth it for Jackal to die for the tier 2?
He died for Desolator though. He got his Desolator, of course, off that tower. So
well, yeah, but he wouldn't have died.
He wouldn't have died otherwise.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
But if he didn't die, he would have had more gold, and he could have fought the Deso.
Yeah. Oh, look at that, by the way. The chat is back, so people, if you don't have your Twitch chat yet, and you want it, you can probably reflect there. So, happy times again. Although it might just, you know, die again after I said that, because I did that the last time.
Way to jinx it, Sheever.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
For me, iCCup, the question for me, and I don't have an answer to this yet, but I'm willing to see, how do you use this farmed Batrider to win you the game? Because we did see them do that. What game was it, Sheever, where iCCup just, all they had was a farmed Batrider and everything else was going against them and they won?
I don't know, was it first?
Do you remember that game?
I believe, was it last week versus virtus.pro for the Corsair gaming thing? Or was
Yeah, it was. Oh, that is a waste. That's not how you use a farmed Batrider. That's an illusion that they use lasso on.
Ouch. It's painful. Oh, track.
They're
Dragon
still gonna
Tail is
fight,
going to fly. Goes down. I don't think that they were thinking that they were going to walk into that one. Jackal killed off as well before it can do anything. Nice vacuum darks to your wall, though, but what's it going to do right now? Nothing. Alliance, they just picked up 2 core heroes to have fights with for Alliance, like one that controls the fight, the other one that does the damage. And now Alliance will definitely get a tier 2 tower.
They will.
Like, they should have some sentry wards picked up. They don't have any vision over any part of the map. The only ward that they have up is one to counter ancient stacking, but that is it.
Yeah, they don't have the vision. I totally agree, Sheever. They don't have the vision to justify these high-risk Batrider ganks, really. I understand why they're still trying to do them, because they're so far behind in Batrider SBKB.
Oh, hook shot. And stun. S4 in trouble. S4 goes down. Hand of God comes in too late. Nice shackle up and almost want to fly. And that's actually just a free gift to iCCup. I think they should be very happy with that, because otherwise it would have ended way worse. Or at least it would, would be way worse, losing Jackal like that.
Yeah, they're still chasing. I mean, they've got last again, but...
Resolution, what's he doing there? BKB forced off out, trying to get himself into safety. Loda stopped chasing. They go for almost want to fly instead. Another Shackle is there, and a track kill will be had. And that is going to be Chen with the kill. And a Resolution flying and blinking and forcing himself away. iCCup, they lose themselves a hero that they shouldn't have lost. They should have just...
It's nerves.
What?
There's no way it's not nerves, Sheever. Like, it's totally I mean, you're 16, you're the captain of your team, you're the mid. Frankly, you're doing the best out of anybody in this game. Like, Jackal, sure, he's farm, but he keeps dying. And you don't expect this much farm on a Batrider. And the team is looking to you to generate pressure, it's looking to you to get kills. I wouldn't even classify that as a huge mistake. If the first hit from Loda hadn't procced Bash, you don't see Resolution dropping to like 40% HP and de-engaging. You see him lassoing Loda and maybe a decent fight. He just got unlucky on the Bash procs, but I mean it's luck, but it's not luck, because the fact is Loda does have most of an Abyssal already because he's had such a good game.
Yeah. I just want to point out again that a lot of people might not know that Resolution is indeed 16, is the captain of his team, and is also the solo mid. I mean, there's a lot of pressure on this guy.
Solo mid. The drafter, the captain, and
he's like... all.
Yeah.
Oh, blinking lasso, he grabs himself S4. Can they take him down in time is a question. A BKB will not be turned on because he goes down. Good initiation for iCCup. Bulldog locked inside the cogs. Bulldog gonna be the second victim here. Alliance buy back Bulldog. Can they turn this around? Loda wishes he can, but Resolution flies himself away. Always want to fly, gonna be the next target. It's only gonna take 5 hits, and there's a track as well to finish it off. Aki with the Ghost Scepter. Not very nice when you're standing next to an Iron Shell, but Jackal is gonna time-lapse himself away. Iron Shell will do some damage. Nice vacuum. Doesn't get Aki though, so doesn't get a kill. Open wounds again up on Jackal. Doesn't allow him to chase. A Shackle comes out from EGM, and now no time-lapse. Force up into safety. Is it gonna be enough? Shikushi is gonna be there as well, and it looks like iCCup is able to back off unless... Yeah, they do back off, thank you. Like, unless they're gonna be running in again, which probably wouldn't end well. But that was actually a very good fight for iCCup, I think.
It was. It was a great fight, and the issue is they can't solve the Loda problem right now.
Yeah.
If the Lifestealer doesn't have 19k net worth in that fight, iCCup, honestly, they wipe it. They would wipe Alliance there. That was an excellent initiation. Furthermore, when you initiate on the back of like a failed initiation, you can catch the other team unawares, especially so deep in their territory that they think, look, there's no chance you'll go there. Unfortunately, I mean, the difficulty here is that Loda has gotten so much farm, and he's done so extremely well, that the Weaver cannot possibly duel him. Desolator Lincoln's Weaver cannot trump Basher, Armlet, S and Y, Drum's Lifestealer. It just can't. And so sooner or later, iCCup have to just leave and it's how many kills can they get before Lifestealer forces them out.
What do you think about Bulldog picking up the Aegis?
It's fine. Loda would have had to ditch. I mean, let's say you're Loda. What do you ditch there? I mean, only Midas, and it's Loda, so he's not going to ditch the Midas.
Because I mean, you just said Loda is of course the target that you know you can't bring him down all that fast. So that's why we saw the initiation coming out from iCCup going for S4 because you can't kill off S4.
Sure.
So giving him an Aegis might have been best, I think. Let
me say why I think it is. It's because Jackal has to use the time lapse against Chen Windrunner, because he doesn't have BKB, and they can pop Lincoln's Trib really easily. What they do is they use the Test of Faith to pop it, and then Shackle or Ensnare. So when that happens, Jackal has to use time-lapse. That's when you track. That's when you track, and now you have gem vision of him, and everybody can chase him now. So that's the bounty, having a guaranteed bounty hunter no matter what, means that you're guaranteed to beat the Windrunner. Sorry, the Weaver. Yeah. The Dragon Knight isn't guaranteed to duel the Weaver, but the bounty hunter helps.
Very true, and in the end, Mag actually finished up his Sheeva, so no Assault Cross yet on the side of iCCup. I do think that they kind of need that, but it's going to be taking a while before they actually have that. Weaver building towards a Manta style, most likely going to be his next items, taking some Ancients as he goes. I mean, in terms of net worth, he's still on top of his team, but the difference between him and the Lifestealer that is incoming on Bulldog is getting bigger and bigger, and the Sentry Ward goes down. Shackle doesn't hit, but it doesn't matter. Time lapse, Sheever runs! Can he run fast enough? No, he cannot! That's just brutal. Abyssals, Test of Faiths, Sheever Shackles, it was all perfectly done. Perfectly timed as well. I mean, you said a Test of Faith and then Shackle. Yeah. That's going to be Jackal out of the way with no buyback.
Yeah. Jackal's farm is good, but when you lose fights the way that iCCup lost fights, those critical mid-game full team fights that they lost, you give the Lifestealer an opportunity.
Did they change the dragon form? No, wait. Wow, a dragon form with tar on him really looks cool.
He's a chrome dragon.
Did you see that?
I didn't. Sheever, I'm on like the baseline settings, so it looks ugly as heck.
Okay. Well, that was really cool. Okay, sorry, I interrupted you, but
I wasn't saying anything interesting. Alliance are gonna high ground. I think they probably have this, frankly. And iCCup, they gotta calm down. They gotta calm the heck down. I thought that the strategy was actually really neat. The Lion I didn't love, but everything else I thought was pretty good. The whole Darkseer, Clockwork, Batrider access, where Surge on any one of them is going to mess you up. Yep. I thought that that was really neat. They came within, I wouldn't say a hair's breadth, but they came fairly close to making it work. And in the end, I would say it was just nerves that let them down.
Yeah, I think something that has to happen for iCCup right now, split push. They need to split push to stop Alliance from getting even close towards their base, because if Alliance pick up only one person, doesn't matter who, maybe unless it's the Lion, iCCup can't really defend because they need the Batrider to control the fight, they need the Clockwork and the Darkseer to control the fight, they need the Weaver to actually do damage during fights. I mean, Lion is still important for some of the disables, but you know, he's gonna die very, very fast in the game probably anyway in a fight. But they can't afford to lose any one of the other four if they want to have a successful chance at defending their base. So split pushing, important, and that means the Manta style of Jackal needs to be there fast, because when he has that, they'll have a better chance. Way better chance.
I do like that. I think you're totally right that, and iCCup is a team that does decently like split pushing to try and get themselves back in. They did build this Dezo on Weaver. Dezo, for all that it's good damage just in hero fighting, the great thing about Dezo is how much it helps you push. We did see Weaver already doing a little bit of split pushing. He might be maybe a little bit once bitten, twice shy with that, but I still think that he could generate tower pressure, force Alliance to sort of move around, because keep in mind, Alliance, they have a great pushing lineup, but there's no Nature's Prophet, there's no Keeper of the Light, so they don't have that capacity to be in multiple lanes at once effectively. So maybe iCCup could take advantage of that. The issue is they have to stop this death ball that's coming in first, and that's what I think they'll have difficulty with.
Yeah, iCCup though, they're gonna be trying to smoke up. They are not gonna find anything in the dire jungle because, I mean, Alliance is all on the Radiant jungle. But they might as well get a tier 2. Maybe they're gonna be able to force Alliance back. And they should be able to force Alliance back. At least. Because it doesn't look like Alliance, well, would they try to split push? Or would they try to force out a tier 3 tower perhaps? Or not? I don't think it's wise, because their own tier 3 might actually take a fall if Jackal gets his way with a DD rune. But the mid lane,
well, it's running out.
Range racks might be in some trouble. Look at the
They
position
can
of
let the
Alliance.
ranged Rex go. It's not... if you're iCCup, you're very willing to lose the ranged Rex in exchange for instance, a tier 3. The issue is it's hugely pushed bottom. Alliance can just swoop in around if there's only a few people back from iCCup.
Yeah,
That would be
TP's come in though.
dangerous.
They know that Alliance has to be somewhere close because they didn't come in to defend their tier 2, nor did they come in to defend their tier 3 all at once. So they knew that Alliance had to be somewhere close where they could make something happen, and they rightfully so TP back out. Resolution is the only one that's really being quite risky in terms of positioning, but he feels safe with the 4-staff Blink Dagger, Ghost Scepter, and BKB. How much defensive items can you have? And of course, Mag actually was just walking back rather than TPing back. He has got himself the mechanism in a surge. Feels pretty safe with that as well. Jackal is in a lot of trouble. Here comes Bulldog. Gonna have the track. The rest of Alliance is standing by. We have got EGM. He's gonna be the first one. Doesn't get the shackle right though. Hits a creep with it instead.
That was a little clowny, honestly.
Slightly clowny.
Yeah, that was... so you did see the whole thing we were talking about earlier, Sheever,
Sure,
with the
toss.
Bulldog not tracking, so
Yeah.
that they make sure that they pop the Lincolns and the time-lapse before he tracks.
Yeah.
But you gotta land something for that to happen. Now, luckily, Alliance are way, way, way ahead, so they didn't need for that to work, for their plan to work, but... I don't know, Sheever. My issue is Alliance are now playing together because they know that there's almost no way that iCCup can kill all 5 of them, because... You've got a Chen with now level 2 ultimate and mechanism. You've got a Dragon Knight who's getting tankier by the moment. And you've got Lifestealer. How is one Weaver, no matter how many damage items he has, how is he supposed to chew through the HP of all of that? It's tough.
Yeah, you mentioned that Alliance was very far ahead. And that actually reminded me that, I mean, normally I will admit that I look at graphs when there's a little less else going on, and when I feel like I said most of it anyways. But again, I forgot to look at graphs at all today. So I'm looking at the gold graph right now. It's no surprise Alliance slowly just creeping towards that 10k line, but after last fight iCCup, or after last tower I should say, iCCup able to take it back a little bit. But yeah, in favor of Alliance, this is definitely not an amount that is... from which it is not possible to come back from. Wow, English.
Yes,
so
it is not...
Yeah, one team fight, and it's gonna be a 4K. If iCCup is a bit lucky, we have the experience graph probably being a bit more drastic, but only for a little while. And again, one team fight can put iCCup totally back in this fight in this game, if they manage to win that team fight, of course, which is kind of important.
The issue is what's the order of operations in a team fight, because we know for a fact that you're not going to kill both DK and Lifestealer. Maybe the plan is just to take team fights, kill the Bounty Hunter and the Chen early, especially after Bounty Hunter adds Vlad's. Vlad's is really good now. It actually was always really good, but now that people actually build it, you actually see it being really strong. The armor is a big deal against the Weaver. The lifesteal is a huge deal for the Lifestealer. Haha. So maybe it's just, if you have good disengage, which they actually do because of Surge and just Batrider in general, get in, kill 2 or 3, and leave. Don't try to wipe Alliance, don't try to win the game right there. Get in, kill people that aren't named Nakes, people not named Loda, and just get the hell out. Do that 3 or 4 times, and maybe you get the Weaver to a point where he's going to matter, or where he's going to actually be able to solo the team. It's that and it's split push. Both of those things basically have to be in place. They're doing a good job of split push, they're not getting the fights, and if they commit all into a fight, Sheever, I don't know how I feel for iCCup. I think that Alliance just in a heads-up fight, even if they don't execute perfectly, they win.
Yeah, and then of course Alliance, they don't only have that, they've got themselves a Hand of God as well. Like, you have got some extra team fight potential purely by lineup. And that Hand of God is actually meaning quite a lot, especially since, I mean, you do only have that Lifestealer to chew through the HP points, and you know you can only hit one target at a time, so it is gonna be tough for him to deal with that. And on top of that, we have got the Dragon Knight picking up a heart.
Yeah.
So Blinky and Lasso, he grabs himself Loda, the one that you said they do shouldn't focus, but look at Loda, he drops.
Okay.
He buys back though. Maybe now iCCup should back off. S4 turns on a BKB, goes to Resolution. Resolution turns on his BKB as well and tries to fly away. Looks like it's gonna be successful. Mag and Jackal on the run as well. Jackal getting Mag getting stunned up rather. Should be able to search himself away. Has Loda on his tail. If Mag is the only victim here from iCCup, that's gonna be good for them. In Ghost Scepter, yeah, I think Mag is gonna be quite.
The issue is the Orchid.
Yeah, Mag is dead.
No Orchid and he lives, Orchid and he dies, but they did of course get that on EGM. He's had a great Windrunner game. Yeah, good fight from iCCup. I mean, for what it's worth, I did say maybe target the Bounty Hunter and Shen, but my logic's mainly you can't kill both the Lifestealer and the Dragon Knight. They don't. They get Bounty Hunter and Lifestealer there. Yeah. That was a really good fight for what iCCup got out of it. They can't take this Roche, which is very bad for them, of course, but it's smart not to try to take the Roche. It's smart to let Alliance have this.
I agree.
For better or worse.
And in the meantime...
And Jackal will get the tier 3.
Yeah, I was gonna say, in the meantime, Jackal was split pushing, and he might actually be able to do some damage to the racks, and this... look,
oh my god.
Look at that building! Where is the TPs? Fortification goes out, but they're not TPing! They don't have TPs. Bullock is here again, gets the wrong Weaver. But yeah, that is some scary stuff. Next time, there's not gonna be fortification, and that went very, very fast.
It did.
Scarily
now Alliance are even more dominant in a big 5v5 heads-up fight because of the Aegis and the Cheese. Who did they put it on? The Cheese is on the Dragon Knight, no surprise there, because Aegis is bad on Dragon Knight. And who's the Aegis on? It's now on Windrunner. Yeah. So now they feel like this Orchid Malevolence and the Gem and that whole situation, and just how well he's leveling makes it worth it to actually have him. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, and nobody, apart from Loda now, actually, nobody had a TP scroll. Loda just got one with brought by Courier, but apart from that, that's actually pretty scary. And we do have a flare coming in from iCCup. They are scouting out where Alliance is, and they might want to try to go in. Jackal already finds Aki. Look at that damage. Aki hasn't got a Hand of God just yet. Might actually go down beforehand. That Jackal getting stunned up by S4 though. Lasso is gonna pull Loda away from Jackal, and BKBs get turned on. Vacuum inside Darkseer as well. Is it gonna be enough? Nobody dies just yet. We just think will be the first one to go down. No surprise there. Infest out from Loda, keeping himself alive, and is able to pick up another kill with it, but buyback from Jackal straight after he died. Mag trying to run himself away from this one, at least is chasing Alliance away from this and is actually gonna be safe. In the meantime, Always Wanna Fly has a nice Dragon Illusion, might be able to get Loda, but Loda will TP himself out into safety. They know exactly where he is though, and they cancel the TP.
Cogs.
Brilliant Cogs, in comes Resolution, and Loda in trouble. Loda has got that armlet toggling for his life right now, forced out into safety, but will end up going down in the flames. Armlet toggling in flames is not good. EGM goes down. The Gem, of course the Aegis, is going to be putting him back inside those cogs. And that is going to be another double kill for Resolution. As Always Wanna Fly is chasing down EGM. Mag going to help out, slowing EGM down. And that should be another kill. Vacuum in there. In comes Resolution. Totally out of mana. But I don't think it matters that much. And yeah, Jackal is already on it with his illusions. He doesn't care about backdoor. That's a bit
can't break through backdoor.
He needs something else.
Oh, they have to Rax them now. Loda doesn't have buyback.
And Jackal, he doesn't care. Like, S4 is just pounding him. But Jackal thinks Rax, time lapse, run away. That's a good choice, probably. And, I mean, I don't think it's going to matter, though. Only S4 and Bulldog alive. And if there would have been buybacks, there would have been done now. Loda
No, Loda doesn't have it.
Oh, this was a brilliant fight from iCCup.
Dude, yeah, I don't know. We're gonna still have a fight though, so we can't talk about it just
goes off, Jackal. This time no backdoor protection. There's the Link is gonna still get stunned. Shirkan's there as well. Jackal, he already bought back earlier, so he can't afford to die again. But he really, really wants those racks, and he will start hitting them right away again, and they do get them. And now they shoot back off. Run and hide, iCCup. You might lose your Clockwork in the meantime, but nicely placed cogs. And that might actually stop that from happening. Always Wanna Fly will take one for the team. He will distract the rest of Alliance to make sure that his team gets home safe. And that is gonna be the end of it. But worth their while for sure. And they might, no, they don't get the ranged racks, but they do get quite a large chunk of it. But what a brilliant fight for iCCup.
Yes. So iCCup have done so many things right. And that ties them up on the racks, basically. Sure, they lost the range racks and all that kerfluffle, but it's fine because they've tied up on the melee racks. They now have a lane that they've won. Yeah, the kerfluffle. It was clearly a kerfluffle, Sheever.
Oh.
But I have to say the items like the Ghost Scepters on. Does everybody have one? Just Lion doesn't have one. That's why Lion always dies. But that's fine because Clockwork has one, Darkseer has one, and also Resolution. What a freaking player! We talked about how is he going to use all this farm. The F Blade has been an enormous deal because you can use it on just about anybody. He's been nuking Ake with it more than I'd like, but it does slow Ake substantially down, keeps him from being able to exit a fight, and he can nuke Loda with it. He can nuke S4 with it to prevent them from auto attacking. You also saw him delay the lasso. He used a defensive lasso that without it, Jackal would have been out of the fight much, much earlier. Instead, Alliance had to spend a dramatic amount of extra resources to actually make sure they brought the Weaver down. Weaver buys back, re-enters the fight, and just the amount of chaos that they were able to generate. I also want to call out Always Wanna Fly. This is the best 2-9 Clockwork you're ever going to see, because he has been making really good plays. Usually on Clockwork, if you're behind on the levels, you contribute nothing. And he is lower level than the lowest level person on the Alliance. But nonetheless, the cogs placement, especially the cogs that pushed Loda out of a TP blind, that was huge.
Yeah. It was perfectly executed by iCCup, and they got a lot of it, but Alliance, with that done, they're going to be on their toes 24/7. And they're actually going to be all going top. iCCup, they're going to defend. They know it's happening. They might try a backstep, as we saw them drawing on the minimap. We have S4 infested with a lifestealer. He has got himself a Chrysalis now as well. And this is going to be a big fight. If iCCup loses this one, I think it's going to be over, but there is buyback on 3 of the heroes of iCCup, while there's no buyback on up anybody of Alliance. S4 going to be the first one. If he gets lassoed, there's going to be a jumping out Loda who's going to have a Bat Rider right next to him with an Abyssal Blade.
He knows.
Yeah.
Resolution knows that Loda's in. He actually scouted with Firefly to see that Loda wasn't standing there, and he deduced... What a player, right? Like, he deduced that Loda was in there.
Yep.
And that's why he didn't pick up there, because Loda jumps out and abyssals the Bat Rider, and you lose.
Yeah.
You lose the game on that play. The other thing about the E-Blade, Alliance's damage is 99.9999% physical, right?
Yeah.
So if you can defensively E-Blade and have Ghost Scepters, whoever the hell Alliance are targeting is going to be immune to auto attacks for, what, like 8 seconds? How annoying is that for Lifestealer? Sure, he's race car, he can run around and kill people, but it's still just a huge amount of frustration for this physical damage-focused team.
Yeah, I want to point out, like, we just think he gets a bit, of course, not really that much credit, but in the previous fight there on the top lane, he stayed alive for a very long time. Like, at some point, nobody had died yet. He was the first one to die in the fight. We know Ghost Scepter kind of helps with that. But he made sure he got off every spell before he died, and that's already a win by a Lion point of view, and did a really good job with keeping his CCs on cooldown and such, and underestimated a little bit, and I'm still agreeing it might have been the best pick, but he's making it work a little bit for them. For sure.
Yep. They are making it work. The Lion, as the game goes on, he's going to be not a trivial deal. Keep in mind, if they do use the F-Blade offensively, on Ake, for instance, F-Blade plus Finger of Death, especially level 3 Finger of Death, is a very dead Chen. Maybe even a Chen that doesn't Hand of God.
This might be a dead someone. Nice Hex coming from We Just Dig. S4 gonna get stunned up afterwards as well. He's gonna be able to get away though. In the meantime, they do catch Jackal. He gets stunned up. There's no gem though, but the Sentry Ward does go down. There's gonna be BKBs turned on by everybody, but they're chasing down Jackal, and the rest of iCCup is gonna let it happen. Apparently, Jackal still running and flying. There's the Dragon Tail, and that's gonna be Jackal gone. Jackal cannot buy back. Loda though goes down as well. Oh, gets sent home by Aki just in time. Nicely done. S4, Dragon Tails up on Resolution, BKB's turned on, more tracks going on, more BKB's turned on as well, and iCCup, We Just Dig, goes down here as the second one of this fight, and we'll try to delay the chase. S4 though, he's not fooled, he pops a Shadow Blade, and he starts pushing in, and this might actually be the end with no Jackal on the board. Buyback is ready, it's so close, but he only needs a couple of gold, he needs 10 gold, how frustrating.
Very.
Dragon Tail, always wanna fly, goes down as well. There's a buyback, and that's Jackal buyback. There we go. What can I do? Nice vacuum. Nice. Hookshot misses though. Blink in. Can they find a lasso? They cannot force out to the high ground because Loda came just a little bit too close. In comes Jackal as well. They go up on Loda, but he infests himself and infests himself out. More damage to always want to fly. And look at the burn damage, but it's not enough. In the end, Bat Rider will die. Jackal keeping himself safe. Time-lapsing himself away. S4 Shadow Blade. Home to safety. Last open AGM as to Resolution also bob back because he could. AGM will still go down. Eki will go down as well. They do get quite a few kills. Loda ends up buying back.
That was a remarkably okay fight.
But they did lose their tier 4 for it. But I think Alliance, I mean, iCCup would...
They don't have the respawn. God, things are just not working out for these guys. They were 30 gold off, or 45 gold off from the Weaver buyback, and now they're 45 seconds off from the Roche respawn. That's how delicate a game of Dota is, Sheever. Like, I honestly think they could have, if they had the immediate Weaver buyback, they can win that fight, because he's so much closer than the Lifestealer is to his face. Yeah, but this is the problem. Losing the second tier 4, they're going to have to call this off in a sec and go and defend. And if they had picked up Roche and then gone to defend the tier 4, That would be so good, and they can't do it. They just can't. They have to go defend. They can't do Roche and defend at this point.
No, but I
A
think,
naked Ancient's not gonna be good.
well, they're gonna
Maybe
send
I don't think Cloakwork
Clockwork.
can do this.
They sent Clockwork back.
He can't do it.
There is a.
He can't do it. There's 2 siege creeps.
That's fine.
Okay, maybe he can do it.
But the rest of iCCup might be in some trouble because S4 is trying to chase him down. It's got Dragon Form looking for the Dragon Tail. There he goes, though. He gets lassoed. BKB there as well for everybody. Bulldog already able to pick up the Lion. And it's gonna be Alliance that is able to force iCCup away. Hand of God will help keep Alliance up. Jackal's gonna go down again. Does take S4 with him, but does not have buyback. And that's a buyback for S4 who did have that. And that is probably game. The tier 4s might be under attack here for Alliance, but both tier 4s already picked up by the creeps here on the middle lane for iCCup, and this is looking from bad to worse for iCCup. Gold graph, oh, look at that pretty gold graph, but it's going down towards the 10k again. Experience graph, same
no
story.
Weaver.
But with no Weaver, and with everybody up on Alliance, it's gonna be near to impossible, and it is impossible, kinda.
I think also S4 was fairly pointless to lasso there, frankly. That's a one mistake. I think Resolution has had a very good game. I don't really like that S4 lasso there. I think Dragon is the person you least want, frankly. Because he's so tanky, you're not going to kill him in the lasso. It's a lot of time that Loda, who's actually less tanky, can keep fighting. It's a difficult fight without Clockwork in the first place, and you make it more difficult for yourself by lassoing the least killable target. But honestly, iCCup, they made Alliance work for that. They made
so
the
hard.
champions sweat.
That was, yeah. I mean, I think there's no doubt in anyone's mind anymore that iCCup doesn't deserve to be here. Because they definitely gave Alliance a run for their money. We are gonna see. We're gonna see another game. Because I don't think they're not getting up. So we are gonna be jumping ourselves to post analysis real quick, and after that we're gonna have ourselves game 2 of the best of 5, where Alliance already has a winners bracket advantage. So we're now at 2-0 in favor of Alliance, and let's see if we can make iCCup make it a 2-1 to give themselves a game. Stick around. Post game analysis and game 2 coming your way.